name is Therese Coppola. Tonight I am going to be talking to Cindy Steinle, who is a bully breed advocate and volunteer. She and her two wonderful pit bulls are very active in the pit bull awareness, whole awareness activity. And she is going to be talking. We're going to be talking a little bit about some of the myths that people have about pit bulls and some of the, the things that people should know. You're afraid of pits. Well, hopefully Cindy will be able to help you with that fear a little bit by telling you some of the good things about pit bulls. There are wonderful pit bulls out there. There are not so wonderful pit bulls out there, but there are wonderful border collies like I have, and then there are not so wonderful. So it's not a breed specific thing. It's it's particular animals. So we're going to talk a little bit about that in just a couple minutes. So let me flip the screen here. Hang on just a second. And that is Cindy and her two dogs, Cleo, the itty bitty pitty princess, and Caesar, the fabulous pitty bull. And I don't know which one is supposed to get the top billing, but whichever one it is, I hope I got the right one. So hang on a second and let me bring Cindy up here on the screen for you. And there she is. So this is Cindy Steinle. She is, as I said, a pit bull advocate, and she has two wonderful pit bulls of her backside today. I'm not sure what she's doing here. Can you guys hear me okay? Hopefully. Or has Siri done a number on this broadcast? Give me some thumbs up, or say yes, or say something if you can hear me okay. And Cindy, why don't you say something? I want to make sure everybody can hear you okay.
Howdy, everybody.
Okay,
can you hear me okay?
Can you hear her all right? Okay, they're giving us the thumbs up.
Yay!
Well, and I am just, I got rid of you, Cindy. Hang on a second. Okay, there she is again. Between Siri and me being a little bit of a klutz. Okay, so again, this is Cindy Steinle, and we are going to be talking about pit bulls. My name's Therese Coppola, and this is the Petscope, the very first show on Periscope about pets. So Cindy, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself and the work that you do with your dogs?
Well, I am a pet sitter by trade, so I see a whole lot of dogs of a whole lot of breeds. To the person who's afraid of pit bulls, we'll go through what dogs are and what dogs aren't. But I will tell you that each breed is the same when you're looking at scariness. A Pomeranian can bite as quickly as a pit bull. And we'll learn a little bit about the myth of what people call pit bulls, and I'm going to use those quotes a lot. I've been with Chicagoland Bully Breed Rescue for about 12 years now. I am one of their board members, so my role is to help make some of the decisions in the rescue. My dog's role is to be breed ambassadors. Both of my dogs are canine good citizens, both have worked in therapy, both are outstanding just dogs in general.
Okay.
Because that's what a pit bull is just a dog.
Just a dog. Well, you know what? That leads into my very first question. What exactly is a pit bull?
A pit bull is a dog with a square head and a big barrely chest. Pit bull is just kind of like a nickname. There is a couple main breeds that it encompasses, but just saying a pit bull is like saying a mutt, because there is no breed of dog named pit bull. There is the American Pit Bull Terrier, and that is the most common breed type that's been associated with the pit bull name. But I've seen up to 60, if not more, dog breeds, including this spring, my old English sheepdog client was called a pit bull. It's any dog with a big head that's big and a round chest, and 99% of the time the person that's going pit bull is afraid of the dog. I've seen it with labs, I've seen it with plot hounds, I've seen it with Great Danes. We try to advocate. We've changed over the years as we've learned more, and when we're talking about pit bulls, we talk about the pit bull type, the stereotypical short, stocky, round dog. instead of a pit bull. We refer to it as a type because almost every dog that you look at and say it's a pit bull, it's a mutt. You saw the picture of my two dogs. One of them is a dachshund mix.
Really?
But Caesar is a dachshund mix.
Oh, how
he is
funny.
also a border collie mix. He is also a German shepherd mix. He would be the taller of the two dogs. That is a dachshund mix.
That is funny. I had no idea.
I did DNA.
Ah,
So what we're calling pit bulls are more often big blocky dogs in shelters with no history that we know of, and we just slap a label. So it's basically discriminatory stereotype.
right, right. So before I go, actually, I'm going to ask that question in just a minute, Randy. I just want to tell people again what they're watching. My name's Therese Copawoda, and this is the Petscope, the very first show on Periscope that's all about pets. And I am talking with Cindy Steinle, who is a bully breed advocate. And if you guys want to share this, I normally don't ask for people to share my broadcast, but this is really important information for people to know. And since it's Pit Bull Awareness Month, I am going to ask that you can share it, that you share it. So if you want to, I would appreciate it. So Cindy, somebody wanted to know the sheepdog. Somebody actually thought your sheepdog was a pit bull.
I was walking the dog, and the gentleman was frightened of it and told me to be careful with that pit bull that it didn't bite him. This is your typical, curly, fluffy, big moose of a old English sheepdog with big blue eyes that someone called a pit bull. It was because he was afraid of the dog, and seeing a dog you're afraid of instantly has to become a pit bull. This is where, we'll get into that a little more down the road, but this is why we push so hard now that they're dogs. These are just mutts, shelter dogs. When I'm walking a pit bull, it's an American shelter dog because I don't know where it came from.
Right. Wow. Hey, Randy, do me a favor and put your question up again. I read it and was going to remember it and totally forgot it. So these people who are breeding pit bulls are just breeding mixed breeds.
Essentially, unless they're breeding them as part of a program like through the UKC, AKC, it's the same as backyard breeding with labs. Same with Chihuahuas. Those Chihuahuas aren't coming out of, show dog houses. They're coming out of mills.
Okay.
And there's no genetics or tracking.
Wow. So where did the name pit bull come from?
It comes from actually the pit and bull terriers, which would have been the original English bulldogs, which look more like the American bulldogs of today. They were the dogs that would go into the pit and bring down the bulls. It has absolutely nothing to do with what we see currently of the big, round-headed, low-slung, big, white, we often refer to them as ghetto bred. The big dogs that we see, the 100-pound pit bulls, the one that made the news, those dogs actually aren't pit bulls.
Wow. Interesting. I'm already learning stuff tonight. Can you briefly, I don't know if that's possible, tell us how the bully breeds got such a terrible reputation?
The media. It's very easy. The first, Karen DeLice wrote a wonderful book that I can see across the room and now cannot remember the name. But it's I believe it's called The Pitbull Propaganda. It kind of goes through where these dangerous breeds came. When the country was formed, there was the very first dangerous breed, the olden days version of the pit bull. It was the bloodhound.
Really, the
Bloodhounds
bloodhound?
were the first dangerous breeds in the U.S. They were used to track escaped slaves. They would track and capture by any means necessary. So you have this big old bloodhound chasing you down and biting you. It's a dangerous breed. We've seen it happen with the German Shepherds, the Doberman Pinschers during the hysteria of World War I, World War II. The bad dogs used as police dogs, they're used as military dogs. It morphed. We've seen Rottweilers go through it. Even Bull Terriers went through it for a period of time. But for some reason, um, possibly because they are one of the most common dogs out there.
Mm-hmm.
They're hanging on. What we hear about in the media, pit bull attacks, pit bull attacks, pit bull attacks. You never hear dog attack.
No,
Ever.
you don't.
And when I worked at the shelter, anytime a dog would bite, the media would call and say, well, what breed is it? If it was anything but a pit bull, they didn't want to interview you because pit bulls sell, blood sells. If it bleeds, it leads. That's where the stereotype and the issues come in. It's the propaganda machine of the media. It's the same with a million other issues. It makes ratings and it sells.
Do you think the whole pit bull thing, the pit bull perception, the prejudice or whatever, do you think that's getting better, or do you think it's getting worse for these dogs?
It's actually getting better. You know, we've unfortunately, I hate to say it, been blessed, but we've had dogs with the Vic situation that have come out as superstars. We've had Hectors that are all over the media darlings before he passed away. His family, the Yoris, did amazing work nationwide to help show that they're just dogs. You know, of the famous dogs, you have like the Hector, the Changos down in Chicago, Fitty, who has those two legs. You know, we have all these new outlets to show that they're just dogs. And every one of these people, that's all they're saying. They're not calling themselves pit bulls. They're calling them dogs.
That's great. That's great. So for those of you who are just coming in, my name's Therese Copawoda. I'm host of the Petscope, the very first show on Periscope, all about pets. And I'm talking with bully breed advocate Cindy Steinle. So Cindy, what do you prefer people to say? I just said you're a bully breed advocate. Do you prefer bully breed, pit bull, or something else?
We say that our rescue serves pit bull type dogs. The rescue that I work with, Chicagoland Bully Breed Rescue, we've had dachshunds, we've had cats, we've saved birds, so we pretty much save whatever we can. But when we deal with the breed, we refer to the pit bull type dogs. Obviously, we dropped bully breed a while ago because the negative connotation with the word bully. It automatically transfers. You say bully, you think of this big hulking evil thing.
Right.
You don't want that on the dogs. So when I'm generalizing, it's the pit bull type. We're just starting to try to get people to just refer to them as dogs. If it isn't a papered animal with tracked lineage, you can't guarantee that that lab, that Pomeranian, or even that dachshund mix sleeping next to me on the couch doesn't have a little pit bull in it. American Pit Bull Terrier.
Okay.
And Caesar actually has American Staffordshire Terrier. So he isn't even a pit bull.
Now, does Cleo, does she have any pit in her?
I have never done her DNA yet. We did Caesar's because with Caesar we were able to do the entire litter. And the really fun thing is none of the litters have the same breeds listed.
Interesting.
So we all kind of use different companies.
Okay. How funny. So do pit bull types, do they have locking jaws like everybody thinks?
No dogs have locking jaws. Their bite strength is, and this goes across the board, I'm going to grab the Chihuahuas because they are the second most common dog in the sheltering world, right behind their buddies the pit bulls. And they that dog's going to have less bite strength than a Great Dane. And it's all based on how big they are, not the breed. There are no locking jaws at all.
No locking jaws, okay. So what about the idea that pit bulls are essentially ticking time bombs and can snap at any time and attack whoever they're near?
Yeah, but they're not pit bulls. They're mutts. So that's saying that any mutt can snap, which is in quite a few homes. There is no mechanism that divides the breeds. There is nothing that says golden retriever will be nice all the time. There's nothing that says an Australian shepherd will be nice all the time. And because of the way the media portrays this group of dogs, or this look of a dog. And we even see it in music videos, in movies. You know, it's never the mutt down the block that bites. It's always the Rottweiler, the Doberman, the whatevers. And that's where these perceptions come from. But it's never, there's nothing in the dog that says, okay, you're going to be this breed, so you have to snap at some point in your life. Nothing whatsoever.
Okay, so saying that is like saying, okay, if you're a mixed breed and you have a tail that's 3 inches long, you're going to snap at any time.
Exactly. Exactly. If you have a big head and a round chest, you're going to snap. So that's hound dogs, that's, you know, mutts, that's labs, that's anything that would, you know, Danes, Shepherds, St. Bernards, all those dogs have big square heads and barrel chests, which is the one common denominator with the pit bull type dogs. So you can't say that. It's just like saying all blondes are stupid.
And a lot of people say that. And you're blonde, and I can attest to the fact that you are not stupid.
Exactly. That's why I picked on myself.
There you go. So for anybody who might be just joining, my name's Therese Copawoda. I'm talking with Cindy Steinle about pit bull type dogs. And if you would like to share this with your followers, we'd really like to get this information out to people because there's so many bad things being said about these dogs and we're hoping to clear some of this up tonight. So because of the reputation that pit bull type dogs have, would you agree that people that have these dogs have a bit of a responsibility to the breed? Or not breed, to the dogs.
To the dogs themselves. The hard part is, I do say yes, because things can snowball excessively fast. Anytime that there is a dog attack, fairly recently in Wisconsin, there were 2 dogs that the media reported as being pit bulls who bit someone. Right after that, you start hearing rumblings about banning these dogs. Those 2 dogs that bit were actually Rhodesian Ridgebacks, and the media and the police called them pit bulls. The owner said they were Ridgebacks and had lineage. So, you know, it wasn't even a pit bull type, you know, an American Pit Bull Terrier, an American Staffordshire Terrier, a Staffy Bull. But because the media presented it, next thing you know, cities are looking at banning these dogs. You know, traveling with your pet is great. You'd love doing it. You do it with Jen all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the difference is when I do it with my dogs, I have to look and see what cities are illegal on my route. I can't just drive anywhere. You know, if I drive through Denver, my dogs could die.
Wow.
They can confiscate my pets.
Could they?
Because they would qualify under the law as being a pit bull and are thus illegal and subject to death in Denver, Colorado.
So would that be if you're just driving through, minding your own business, and a cop sees these 2 pit bulls in your back seat, he could stop you and take the dogs?
They would have to stop me for another reason, but they could confiscate the dogs.
Wow.
They had done it when the law came back into effect, to a few truck drivers who traveled with their pets.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane.
It makes life for anyone, anytime we have to be that extra careful because, you know, the little cute little dogs that get in a fight at the dog park and nip a person, you never hear about that. 2 dogs where one could be called a pit bull, it hits the news, next thing you know, all the municipalities in that area are screaming about banning the dogs.
Now, somebody just asked, since you mentioned that, are there a lot of places that they are illegal?
Throughout the country, yes. Here in Wisconsin, we have a handful. In Illinois, there are very few places because the state of Illinois has a ban against breed discriminatory legislation. There were localities that had it in place prior. Oddly enough, Florida has that law, and so does Colorado. But Denver's law came first for the city. Denver and Aurora are both able to ban because their laws were in effect before the state banned breed discriminatory laws.
Wow. That's the whole breed banning thing is just, it just seems, it's just insane to me.
Well, and the hard thing is, it's all based on looks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have a dog that is 5 different breeds in his system, but I cannot move to certain cities. I cannot go through certain cities. I actually had an issue with my American Bulldog driving through a city here. American Bulldogs are a Mastiff. The American Pit Bull Terrier is a Terrier. So 2 completely different genetic makeups. I was escorted from the city and told not to bring my dog back. It just happened to be a cop who hates pit bulls.
Wow.
And because their city bans them, for those 4 blocks that I skirted through that city to grab that fast food, I got caught and was escorted to the city line.
Man.
For a dog that wasn't even a terrier, or an American Pit Bull Terrier, or an American Staffordshire Terrier.
Because of what it looked like.
Because of what he looked like. Sounds like a lot of problems with our society today, basing things on what people look like.
Yeah, exactly. You have this color skin, we don't want you. You talk with that kind of accent, we don't want you.
But it's okay to do. It's not okay to do to people. But hell yeah, let's do it
to the dogs. Yeah, Nancy from American Pet Pros just said that Denver killed 3,000 dogs this year that were pits.
Oh, they're down. They've been well over 4 the past couple of years.
Wow. I can't remember your name. I'm sorry, I apologize. But the person Sweets, I think, is your username. She said something about why do even though pit bulls aren't mean, they look mean. And I guess that would be perception, wouldn't it? Don't you think?
That's perception. You know, I don't look mean here, but I guarantee you see me in an alley and you startle me, I'll give you a look that'll make you run. You know, it's just how you see it. That's part of what I've done with my dogs is you can't be afraid of a pit bull in a tutu. So if you're going to be afraid of a pit bull, I stick tutus on mine. Cleo has at least 15.
I've seen many pictures of her.
You've seen the pictures. There's a reason my dogs are dressed up. They go out because their job in this world, as I gave them jobs. They have to work. All dogs love to work. Their job is to make people look at pit bull dogs, pit bull types, as just dogs. You watch, you see what you think is a scary pit bull, and then you realize as a hot pink tutu,
how can you be
not going to be as afraid of it anymore? And the work that my dogs do is hopefully helping down the road with other dogs trying to get homes.
Yeah. And have you been able to, like Sandy's afraid of these dogs, have you been able to work with people who are afraid of dogs?
100%. 100%. And if Sandy is local to Milwaukee, she can hook up with me through CBBR and she can meet Caesar the Fabulous Pity Bull, who is often called a greyhound mix because of how he looks.
Huh.
But he was bred in a crack house.
Oh, she's in New Jersey, so that's probably not going to happen.
If she gets a hold of you, if she can get a hold of me through CBBR, I can find someone in New Jersey who has a wonderful therapy dog. And, there's no shame in saying you're afraid and you want to get over that fear. Any rescue, you call them and you say, I've heard all this stuff about pit bulls, and I'm scared of them. Help me. The rescues will come to you. They'll bake you cookies, bring you cupcakes, and look at this cute puppy. How can you be afraid of this cute little puppy?
Oh, cool. Yeah, Sherry just mentioned a puppy. So just so you know, I'm going to put up the link to the rescue at the very end of the interview here. So if you want to get in touch with her, you can. So if you're just joining, my name's Therese Copawoda, and you're watching the Petscope. I'm talking with Cindy Steinle, who is a pit bull type dog advocate.
You bet.
So do you think it's more important for people with bully breeds or pit bull type dogs to take them through some kind of training so they're better behaved out in public?
I think everyone should. I'm a pet sitter. Everybody should take your dog to dog training. I don't care how cute they are. I personally think everyone with a dog should. I personally believe that leash laws are there for a reason.
Yes.
I live in a city where it is illegal for me to take my dogs and run them in the park off leash. They are required by the law to be on a 6-foot leash in the city of Milwaukee. So I have 2 dogs that I want to walk down the street on a leash because I have to according to law. I can't let them run. Everybody should do it too.
And that's not
just training everybody.
That's not just dogs with big heads.
No, that's all dogs. Because when a lot of these situations happen, my dogs are stuck on a 6-foot leash. They legally have to be on that leash. Your dog charges them. My dogs can't get away. There's no ability for them to flee. And this goes all across the board. So this is why you shouldn't have them off leash in unprescribed areas.
Right.
But that's where the fights come from. You know, imagine someone rushing up on you and you can't get away. Think of it as you being in the same situation. Yes, I think everyone should have their dogs in some sort of training. You should at least be able to walk them on a leash. They shouldn't nip at people, no matter the breed. There are places, again, like where I'm at, where you have to take a class to own the dog.
To own the pit bull type?
I live in a city with breed discriminatory legislation. So there is actually a class that my city requires you take that has nothing to do with the dog. It has to do with the dog law.
Huh, interesting.
I think
did not know
that they should come with my breed. The laws here aren't bad, but there's laws. So, everyone should go through training, basic obedience. It doesn't matter if it's the $50 Petco special or if you spend $5,000 on a private trainer. It doesn't matter the breed, because the one thing that's the most important with the training is it creates a bond with you and your dog. Mm-hmm. When you get home with your dog, no matter the breed, Pomeranian, Pit Bull, Chihuahua, Collie, everyone should go to at least one set of classes, because it makes a huge difference between you and your dog.
It does. It makes that bond better. Plus, even if there are no other dogs around, you having control of your own dog could save your dog's life.
Oh yes.
Just anyway.
I just don't think it needs to be more for the people who have certain breeds.
Okay. Somebody asked what is taught in the class that you have to take? Just the laws?
Just the law. There's fencing requirements. Legally, you have to be of a certain physical stature or over 16 to walk our dogs.
Interesting.
So, if someone has a 10-year-old kid and the kid's walking the dog down the street, technically they're breaking the law. 6-foot leash at all times. So when I go through parks where, everybody knows the dogs are off leash even though they're not supposed to, I have to avoid those areas because my dogs always have to be on a leash.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, I'm in a city where I can keep them with those laws, but yeah.
Well,
They sit down. They explain the kennel requirement, the fencing requirement, the penalties if you don't follow the laws. That's basically what they require.
Okay. So for those of you just joining, I'm talking with Cindy Steinle. My name's Therese Copawoda. Cindy is a pit bull type dog advocate. So let me see what I have on my questions here. What are some of the things you encourage people to do to ensure their dogs represent these class of dogs in a good light?
I really push that. You just heard me go on my training rant.
Mm-hmm.
For any dog, and this is whatever breed you have, mutt, purebred, rescue, wherever, every dog should kind of follow the same guidelines. Follow your local laws. I don't know of a city that allows dogs off leash everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
If there is one, I'd be shocked. Just follow your laws. Keep your dog on leash where they're supposed to be. Let them go off in dog parks where they can. Set up play dates. Get your dog socialized. Do, like I said, even if it's that $50 quickie at the pet store training session, do a training session with basic obedience. If you want to get more involved, there's great programs out there. The Canine Good Citizen program, it's open to every breed of dog, and when you get your dog certified in that, there's insurance companies that'll give you discounts on your homeowners. take your dog to get their certification that says they're a good dog, get 10% off. I think, oddly enough, I'm going to list one of the companies that anyone who owns a pit bull cannot use. American Family, I think, gives like a 10% discount.
They do?
For dog owners. American Family gives a discount.
Wow, I need to look at that.
So if you have a Canine Good Citizen and American Family, and you've been a good dog owner and told your insurance person you have a dog, let them know your dog's a Canine Good Citizen and you'll get a discount. I also think State Farm, but even smaller ones. I have a small kind of company here that gives me a discount because both of mine are. There's tons of great stuff you can do that way. You can go even further and take the American Temperament Testing Society test, which is amazingly stressful and really pushes the owner and the dog because it puts your dog in some weird situations, and each dog is based on their breed, what the breed standard reaction should be, but also their history. So if this is a rescued dog, if this is a dog that's had training in certain things like personal protection or therapy work, or with Caesar, he almost failed one of the portions of the test and almost entirely failed it because I work with an umbrella with my dogs. That way, if something scoots up on us, I can pop the umbrella open. So an umbrella popping in my dog's face is nothing. 99.9% of the dogs out there freak out.
Yeah, I would
because
imagine.
when we took our test, he just kind of looked and went, eh. It's because he was trained to it. So that was something, and that test judges your dog's temperament individually and as a whole breed.
Now, what's the name of that test again?
That's the American Temperament Testing Society.
Okay.
It's the big test that you'll see some breed advocates say pit bulls test higher than labs. That's the test.
Okay.
And it's another 10-step test. I kind of refer to it as the Canine Good Citizen on steroids.
On steroids, okay. Okay. And I'm sure somebody can find that just by Googling it, right? They have a website?
Yep.
Okay.
ATTS.org, I believe.
ATTS.org. Did you guys get that? Could somebody just toss that up in the comments, please? ATTS.org. Nancy, I'll bet you already knew about that one. So let's talk a little bit about BSL, breed-specific legislation. Do you think that accomplishes anything, good or bad? I'm sure it accomplishes some bad stuff.
That's something new, too. We changed the name because it's actually a discrimination. So we've started calling it breed discriminatory legislation because it actually discriminates against those breeds in kind of changing the specific to actually what it is, a discrimination form. It does absolutely nothing. The only people that are hurt by any breed discriminatory laws are the good, law-abiding people. A local municipality here, Cudahy, Wisconsin, enacted restrictions against any dog that might be a pit bull, look like a pit bull, smell like a pit bull, or fart like a pit bull, because they wanted to keep certain types of people out of their city. And the city councilwoman said that in a media interview.
Really?
It was a city that had 2 licensed, registered pit bulls. They felt the need to enact pit bull laws to keep certain types of people out of the city.
Wow.
I don't know. I guess they mean 40-year-old overweight white women who work 3 jobs, I guess. I try not to spend any money there because of those comments, but no, it doesn't hurt anyone but the families who own them. We have a family up north here that's actually fighting for their dogs. The neighbor's dog, which I can't remember the breed, was not a pit bull type, bit this woman's son. Cops came out. The child who was bitten lost his 2 dogs. They did not know there was breed-specific legislation. Those 2 dogs were not involved in the bite. They were not near the bite. They were in their own homes. But because of how they looked, now they are being paid to be cared for away from their family for, I think it's been over a year now with Diesel and Thor. Well, this family fights to get their pets back because another dog bit their children.
And what happened to the other dog?
Uh, really, I honestly don't know offhand. I believe the family was cited and they paid the medical bills and never made the news.
Interesting.
But
Wow.
because this family with these children, their dogs, their family members they love, they had to move them temporarily. Well, now they fight the laws of the city. Just because their kid got bit by the neighbor's dog. Those are the type of people that this hurts.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't hurt the people who fight the dogs. It doesn't hurt those people at all. It doesn't hurt, they say one of the things they look at is doing mandatory spay and neuters. Well, that's only going to affect the dogs that are in homes that pay for licenses. Those are the people that these laws affect. It doesn't affect anyone else. It doesn't reduce bites. In fact, I believe every year since the pit bull ban was reenacted in Denver, I believe every year they've had an increase in dog bites.
Huh. And I'll bet not all of those were from pit bull type dogs either.
Obviously they can't be because they're illegal in that city and that law works so well now that they're killing, 3,000? They're getting down in numbers each year.
Amazing. It just blows my mind how the stupidity just keeps going.
It costs way more to go through a city and ban pit bull type dogs than it does to enact legislation for non-breed specific, aggressive, or nuisance animals. Dogs that bite. Make stronger laws for that. Actually enforce the laws that are on your books, because every municipality has a leash law. I've never heard of anyone getting a ticket.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Every municipality probably has a nuisance animal. So that dog that's constantly getting out of its house, running the neighborhood, that's a nuisance animal. People don't usually get tickets. The only time they pay is when they pick them up at animal control and pay the boarding fines.
Right.
So work on enforcing your current laws and make stronger bite laws. Do we get to talk about PETA tonight, please?
If you want to, go ahead.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't. I'm not sure I do. Go for
well,
it. Unless you're going to say you love PETA, then you can't talk.
Oh, hell no. Hell
Okay,
no.
then go for it.
PETA is killing pit bulls like crazy now too. They have joined forces with Merrick Clifton and dogsbite.org. Dogsbite.org and Merrick Clifton put out their unscientific fake version of the truth. They actually make up stories, twist news reports, and they're essentially a giant lie propaganda machine. And PETA is partnering with them now. And
That makes sense.
they are fully coming out with their stance of promoting pit bull bans. So the reason I'm bringing this up is, if you love any sort of pet, dog, cat, bird, snake, I don't care, PETA is starting to systematically work to kill more than what they do in their shelter. Right now they're going after pit bulls very publicly, supporting ending their lives, supporting bans, and supporting non-adoption. So just keep your eyes out if you love dogs and donate to PETA, because now they're actually actively going after a group, pit bulls, but that's their starting point.
Yeah, well,
Who knows?
PETA
They're
is.
PETA.
I mean, they're evil. They want all companion animals gone.
So now the dogsbite.org is essentially as reliable as the Weekly World News with their facts. And this is who PETA is now publicly backing. So PETA is killing pit bulls. I wanted to get that out there.
Okay, well, if you didn't like PETA before, this gives you even more reason not to like them.
Yes.
Yeah, PETA, years ago, I thought PETA was a good organization. Years ago. I don't know how many years ago. A long time ago. And then I learned what PETA was. It was like, I've been getting all excited about this organization. They're evil. They're evil. So.
Oh, I'm lucky. I've been a reptile owner. I've hated them all along.
So moving off of the PETA, we could probably rant about PETA all night, and everybody here on the chat has been saying, "I hate PETA. PETA's evil."
I was just hoping if there was one person who loves PETA in that group, they're out to kill my pit bulls. Stop giving them money.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody in here does like PETA. I'm not sure if they would say they do, which that's fine. I can respect them for that. But if you do like PETA, rewind, listen to the replay of this and Google PETA and dogbites.org, and yeah. So let's change direction a little bit here. What should somebody do if they're living somewhere with a pit bull type dog and they have to deal with a newly imposed ban or some kind of confiscation threat or something like what you're talking about with the people that have to farm out their dogs?
Well, these people were lucky. They're in Wisconsin. We have a great organization, Wisconsin Voters Admin. There's a group of people in Wisconsin who all help fight these laws. We're spread out through the entire state. It's everybody. It's dog people, cat people, reptile people. And we watch for these laws, but we're also there when people need help. If you're in a city and something like that happens, you hear they're talking breed ban. And when they start talking about it, start reaching out to pit bull rescues. Any dog, your Humane Society, any breed-specific rescues that, like Chicagoland Bully Breed Rescue, takes in or specializes in pit bulls, any group like that. If you don't have one locally, there's a couple of real famous groups that can find someone for you. Reach out to the people at Bad Rap. Reach out to people at PM. My brain farted. It's the Pitbull PBRC, Pitbull Resource Center. Is there a Pitbull person in the room that can confirm it's pbrc.net? I believe. And I can actually, I have my computer in front of me. I suppose I can look it up.
Farm Foundation. Does that sound familiar? Somebody wrote down.
Yep.
Farm
The
Foundation.
PBRC. I found it.
Oh.
PBRC has a listing of many national rescues. You just go to their website, you look at rescues, find your state. Even if that person, even if you're in a state where there's one rescue and they're on the whole other side of the state, email them, call them. Because when you need help fighting this, you need, first off, people to show up. You can't go to your city hall alone and say, hey, please don't take away my dog. Right. You need help. You need people. And the people in the rescues can come to your aid. They can help you if you need to get your dog somewhere like this family up north. Everyone's chipped in. People have donated food, bedding, supplies, helped with costs, whatever we can. But we can also be there to help you go through. If the rescue hasn't dealt with it personally, they can reach out to the other rescues in the state. But your best defense will be that rescue or your local Humane Society if the breed ban starts to come. Those are also the two places you look for if you're moving. If you move to a new state, a new city, reach out to the shelter in that area and say, hey, is there any cities with dog bans near me?
That makes sense.
That'd be the best place to start. Because most of the time, the people who enforce animal control laws work at a shelter. Or they can direct you. Uh-huh. And talking to the shelter will let you know where you can and can't move first off.
All right. Somebody also suggested getting in touch with people that show AM staffs or other dogs.
Oh yeah, and if you have a national, we have the Wisconsin Dog Federation. That's the group of breeders. Reach out to those dog breeders because they don't want to see, and it doesn't matter again what breed they breed. They don't want to see any breed bans. Dog people will come to your aid. But wherever you are in the state, your local pit bull type dog rescue, your local Humane Society, and great call. I forgot about the dog breeders. We have the Dog Federation Wisconsin that keeps an eye on all those laws coming out as well.
And the APDT as well. So,
yes.
Okay. So I just wanted to find out, have you tell people where they can find you, but I want to see if anybody has any more questions before we close down. Does anybody have any questions or comments that you want to make before we end this? Again, my name's Therese Coppola. This is the Petscope, the very first show on Periscope that's all about pets. And I've been talking with Cindy Steinle, who is a pit bull advocate, and she has two wonderful pit bull type dogs of her own. And Cindy, are you on Periscope? There's
Speaking
one
of,
of them. Which one is that? Is that Caesar?
That's Caesar.
Hey, Caesar.
Yeah. Cleo is kindly
Caesar.
laying down.
He's going to ignore me.
Yeah, he's got a kid. He has to kiss the mom. Mama's almost done. Come over here and lay down.
Cindy, are you on Periscope or Facebook or Twitter?
I am on Facebook. I am under Cindy Steinle. I haven't used my Twitter in ages. I keep forgetting to reinstall the app. You can also reach me through the Two Dogs Facebook pages if you need help. Caesar the Fabulous Pity Bull, CGC, and Cleo the Itty Bitty Pity Princess, LGB.
And we will, either Cindy or I will post that on the event page that I set up. I'll let you do that, Cindy, so that people can get in touch with you. And are you going to get on Periscope? Please get on Periscope, somebody says.
Well, I am, but it's on my phone.
But
I haven't. I just set it up. Started downloading the app today.
Good,
but
good.
It will likely be Cindy Steinle or some version of my name.
Okay, cool. Well, you'll have to join the Pet Lovers Tribe when you get on. We have a group that, well, I don't know, have you seen the Pet Lovers Tribe? It's a group for people that are using Periscope on, pet lovers who are using Periscope. And it's...
Well, as soon as I get hooked up, I'll have you show me where to go.
I will do that. I will do that. So, so I am, let's see, any more questions? I guess not. Let me...
Did you want to say hi to everybody?
Oh, yeah, let's see.
Got to. You want to come say hi? Come say hi.
Hey, Cleo. Is that Cleo? There she is.
This is
hey, Cleo. Oh, look at that beautiful girl. Hey, Cleo.
Hey, Cleo.
She's not going to pay any attention to what's coming out of the screen.
No. Cleo is the canine good citizen, and she is a former fight dog from Milwaukee.
Is she?
Yes.
Wow. A former fight dog.
She came out of a fight house at about a year.
Wow. Well, I'm glad she has a lovely, wonderful, loving home now. So this has been really good. Thank you so much, Cindy, for all the great information. Thank you to everybody who came tonight. Again, my name's Therese Coppola. I'm host of the Petscope, the very first show on Periscope that's all about pets. And I've been talking with Cindy Steinle, who is a pit bull advocate. And Cindy, I am going to cover you up now.
Okay.
With a page that has, hey, I saw you stick your tongue out at me, that has some contact information.
Cool.
So we have
I will post all of those links into the Facebook group.
Great.
And then we can move them over to the other group as well.
Sounds good. So right now on the screen right now, Cindy, just so you know, I have the Chicagoland Bully Breed Rescue, the link to that website. Cindy is on the board of the Chicagoland Bully Breed Rescue, so you can contact her there. But again, she is going to post information on the Petscope page where we had the event announcement. So she'll have that in there later tonight, probably.
As soon as we get done, I'll put all the links up for how to get a hold of me or my dogs.
Cool. And again, that's the pet. Just go to Facebook and look for the Petscope, or you can go to the website if you want more information. And if you have any questions, or if you would like to be interviewed, or if you know somebody who would like to be interviewed on the Petscope, you can get in touch with me. DM me through Twitter, or you can find me all over Facebook. So anyway, guys, that's it. I want to thank everybody for coming, and I want to especially thank Cindy for giving your time and giving us some great information about these wonderful dogs.
Thanks a lot for having me, and I believe this Saturday is National Pit Bull Awareness Day.
It is, and this whole month is Pit Bull Awareness Month.
Correct.
So that's why we're doing all this pit bull stuff. So anyway, guys, that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to get in touch with Cindy, or if you have questions about the Petscope, you can get in touch with me. Thanks for joining us, everybody. You guys have a great night.